All right, good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Let's go. My name is Haziq Ali. We do this 7 days a week. It's called Good Morning Millionaire. I'm the founder of the Kaizen Academy. And what we're here to do is help you go further, faster, with less effort. I'm talking to entrepreneurs. So if you're watching a replay, give me a replay, gang. Let them know we in the house. Represent where you're from, rep your city. Today we're talking about closing. You know, we're talking about closing. We're talking about how to help that exchange happen, right? I think this is a good time to talk about what kind of business you're in. Tonight on Obsessed with Success, we're going to cover 21 habits of self-made millionaires. I think you're going to enjoy that. 21 habits of self-made millionaires. So what you may want to do is lock this number into your phone, 667-776-WIN1. That's 667-776-WIN1. And what you can do is call that number at 5:15 p.m. Eastern as well. And what will happen is you'll begin to lock into the Millionaire Mind Line. April's in the house. Demita's in the building. Hope everybody's feeling good this morning. How's your week been going so far? Good morning, big sis. How's it been going so far, everybody? We're getting closer, right? But yeah, today we're going to talk about closing. You know, a lot of times we do everything right to get them to the appointment. You know, we found the right lead. We've had meaningful conversation. We've done our presentation, but now it's time for closing, right? Maybe they went and used a third-party tool, and it's time for closing. Share this with an entrepreneur you know. Let them know where you're from. Let them know where you're from. What cities we got checking in? JT. What's cracking, bro? Everything good? Hope everything good. But yeah, this tonight at 5:15 p.m. That's what we're doing. We're rocking on 21 habits of self-made millionaires. 21 habits of self-made millionaires. That's going to be at 5:15 p.m. Eastern. We call it Obsessed with Success. Okay, then. Chi-Town in the house. All right, Charlotte is up in here. I love that. I love that. All right, Wilmington's in the house. Wilmington's in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, we'll kick it soon. Hit me up today, JT, or inbox me right now. Go inbox me right now. We'll make it happen. My man Terrence in the house. All right then. Trey Brown is in the building. What's happening, brother? Adam Smith is up in here. Oh man, Brooklyn, New York is in the house now. All right, it's time to go hard. Brooklyn, New York is in the house. Let's make sure we make it happen. Zave, what's up, Zave? Zave checking in. All right, it's time to hop in on this Millionaire Mind Line in a minute. What kind of businesses we got represented? What do you do? How do you help the world get better? You know what I mean? Okay, then West Virginia in the house. Who else we got checking in this morning? Orlando in the building. I love that. I love that. Let's get it. But check it out, man. How many different closing techniques do you have? Can I see that in the comments? I just want to do a quick survey. How many ways do you know to close? If it's 0, give me a 0. If you got 1 that you go to, give me a 1. How many closing techniques do you have? Ohio in the house. I love that. How many closing techniques do you have, Terrence? How many closing techniques you guys say? I'm just curious. How many closing techniques do we have in the building? I'm going to go ahead and call in on this live line. Anybody want to share? How many different closing techniques do most of us have? Like, what is your go-to? What kind of percentage you getting on that thing? You know what I mean?
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you.
Please enter your... Thank you. Please announce yourself.
Mama Hassan here. And
All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
Okay. And good morning, Mama Mahasan. I hope everything's feeling good this morning. As a matter of fact, I want to give a big shout out to everybody who has been helping us raise this fund. Mama Mahasan has a fundraiser going on right now. And I want to shout out everybody that's been showing love. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. My name is Haziq Ali. I am coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia, but more importantly, I'm coming to you from a different state of mind. Around here, we talk about being millionaire minded. Our whole play is every morning we get together, same time, same line, and we start to talk about different ways that'll help us grow our businesses. We want to move further, faster, with less effort. So if you're here for the first time, I want to encourage you to like the page. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, make sure that you subscribe, especially if you're on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, then and you're watching a replay, check it out on YouTube. Facebook does not always show everything, and we want to make sure that you are easily able to share the wealth. At the end of the day, the universe gives to the givers just like it takes from the takers. This morning, we're talking about closing. Many of you know that I teach something called the revenue acceleration cycle. This whole revenue acceleration cycle is a technology that I've used to help everything from brick and mortar businesses to click and order. I took my own company to the most profitable year that it's ever had. But I've done that over and over and over again for all kinds of different businesses, whether it's a mom and pop or a Fortune 500. I've consulted across the spectrum. And then on top of that, I've had so much experience in my personal life because of the fact that I've never had a job, right? All I've ever done is run businesses. If intelligence is just pattern recognition, listen to me, you could be a complete moron. And at this point, you would notice a couple of patterns. So what I came up with was this thing we call the revenue acceleration cycle. Share this training with an entrepreneur. Share this training with somebody who has a home-based business, because this applies to any kind of business. But today we're talking about closing when you're dealing with a home. Maybe you just showed them a third-party tool. Maybe it was a traditional presentation, but maybe you was in the front of the room, and now you're talking to people one-on-one after you got off stage. A lot of times we're looking for the perfect thing to say. Here's a revenue acceleration cycle. It starts with leads, then it goes to meaningful conversation or appointments, then it goes to appointments or meaningful conversation, then it goes to presentation, then it goes to closing, that conversion, the closing part, right? That's before the follow-up, that's before the upsell. We got to try to convert, right? Now, if we're doing a presentation, it's one way to convert, but when we're one-on-one, it's a beautiful thing, y'all, because now you get to be right there in the moment with the person. You're not nervous because all we're doing is giving them options. We feel powerful. We feel blessed to be a blessing. All we're doing is throwing it out there and taking volunteers. Everybody wants more options in their life. The opposite of a slavery is options. Is that right? But maybe some of y'all are like me and you were like, but what do I say? Okay, they just now saw the NIP or whatever presentation. They just now saw the brochure and we're like, man, well, what do I say now, right? And maybe you're like me, well, your first thing that you would do is just say, man, so what'd you think about that, right? And of course, as we get more mature, we understand that we keep getting these robust, verbose, pontificating answers that have nothing to do with what we were actually asking, right? It's almost like you asking about politics or you're asking about religion, right? You're opening up this whole can of worms because now the person wants to feel like they're smart. They're thinking you're asking for them, their opinion, like they're Siskel and Ebert of entrepreneurship when they work at a warehouse or they, are a farmer, whatever it is they do. They know nothing about this. That's not what you were asking. So secret number one is you want to say, and somebody give me this in the comments, what did you like best about what you saw? Or what caught your attention? Was it mostly the product? Was it mostly the opportunity or a little bit of both? That's secret number one. You're like, hey, was it mostly the ability to get your own credit together, get your business credit popping, or was it just that you looking at the opportunity to help other people? What really caught your attention? What made you kind of like decide hey let me answer the phone when he calls? What'd you like best about what you just saw? What caught your attention? Was it the product? Was it the opportunity? Was it a little bit of both? We together? All right, here's the second one. Secret number two. After they tell you that, which means that now all their conversation is focused on something we actually care about, right? as opposed to them giving their opinion. You're focusing them on what they liked best. And then also you're giving them options, right? You're giving them two alternative choices, which is always going to be really, really powerful because they get to feel like they have options, but it's any option between these two, right? So then the next one is like, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10, like, I'm ready to go right now, and 1, like, I hate this, where do you see yourself, right? Because what we're asking them is to kind of like give us a feel for where they are in the process. And since what amateurs do is try to convince, what professionals do is they just sort. Professionals they just sort. Does that make sense? So what we're asking is, hey, at the end of the day, are you, where are you? Because if they're already ready to go, you was probably about to do a lot of extra talking for nothing. You get what I mean? So secret number 3, if you got that one, come on, put in the comments. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to go too fast. Okay, then, Siobhan. Let's get it. We ready? Okay, Diamond, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. All right. Okay. So then secret number 3 is we start getting down to brass tacks. Now we're like, so how much money would you need to make on a monthly basis to make it worth your while? How much money would you need on a monthly basis to make it worth your while? Right? That's secret number 3. Now you're kind of like getting them to that place where we start to hear what kind of numbers they have in their head. And you're looking for them to say something realistic, right? You're a consultant at the end of the day. They're looking at you to kind of like, if you're doing your job properly, hold their hand and walk them through this. Hold their hand and walk them through this, right? You're a consultant in this space. So about how much money would you need on a monthly basis to make it worth your while? Here's secret number 4. Everybody with me? Here's secret number 4. How many hours a week are you willing to put in to get that? Like, let's say they said $1,000 a month, right? How many hours a week are you willing to put in? How many hours a week are you willing to give me to help you get to that $1,000 a month? How many hours a week are you willing to put in? How many hours a week are you willing to put in? Keith in the house. What's up, bro? How many hours a week are you willing to put in? Right? To get that $1,000 per month. You're their consultant at that point. Right? Do they need to move one of these numbers? Right? Because if they're saying that they want to make, if they're saying that they need to make this much, and yet they're only willing to put in this, do they need to adjust something? Right? If they say they want to make $5,000 a month, but they're only willing to put in 3 hours a week, now it's time to say, well, where do you work now? How much do you earn? How long you been working there? Okay, well, we may want to adjust one of these numbers, right? We're a consultant at this point, right? So then secret number 5, how long would you be willing to give me to get to that $1,000 a month? How long would you be willing to give me to help me get you to that $1,000 per month? Now, let's say they say something reasonable, like 6 months. That leads us real smooth into the most powerful question, probably. And I won't say the most powerful because there's some, boy, I got some for you, boy. But this is one of the classics. They call it a if I would you statement. If I would you. So at this point, secret number 6 is you just hit them with, if I could show you how to work, 5 to 10 hours a week and get to $1,000 per month in the next 6 months, would you be willing to join and start with the company now? Would you be willing to join now, or would you be willing to get started? Right? Does that make sense? If I would you. And here's secret number 7, y'all. And I think it might be one of the most powerful because, in your mind, you're like, some are going to say yes, Some are going to say no. Some are going to say, well, what about blank? And then now you're going to get their real objection. At the point they do that, you're like, man, that was an incredible question. Let me see what blank has to say. I mean, some of you are you have the acumen where you can do it yourself. But even when you can do it yourself, I still suggest taking any opportunity you can to bring somebody else in. That way they get to witness the support system at work. They are constantly listening to you. They are constantly observing you, whether they realize it or not, whether they're doing it on purpose or not. They are constantly observing you to understand what it is they're supposed to do, what it is that they would be expected to do, what it is you do, so they can judge whether they like it or not, whether they think that's sexy or not, whether they think that's doable or not. And one thing that's always really, really duplicable is your ability to show them you didn't even do nothing. All you did was let such and such handle that. Man, that was a great question. Let's see what Miss Smith has to say about that. Man, that was a great question. I can't wait to see what my man, Jack got to say about that. Does that make sense? All right. But then here's secret number 7, y'all. And a lot of people don't catch this. Secret number 7 when it comes to clothing has to do with how clearly, y'all, do you understand who you're talking to? How clearly do you understand who you're talking to? Because mind reading equals influence. Mind reading equals influence. If you really want to understand how to close somebody, you don't close them on a bunch of data. You don't close them on talking to them about how you get 4% extra commission at level 4, every 4 days. That's not how you close somebody. How you're going to close people, millionaire, is from the beginning, understanding who you're talking to. So, here at our company, we do all kinds of trainings. Like this t-shirt even is from an event that we have called Communication Pro. A bunch of you were able to make it there. Some of you missed it, but the power in that information is that mind reading equals influence. Mind reading equals influence. Somebody give me that in the comments. Mind reading equals influence. Do you hear me? The reason that I'm pointing that out to you is that if I know I'm talking to a spring personality, right? And I know a spring personality is all about caring for people. They're very, very nourishing, maybe they're actually a nurse, right? But maybe I just know that nurse kind of sums up this kind of personality type, right? Well, what's the vibe here? What's the vibe here? Maybe I can go on Google and I can search things like career frustrations of nurses, right? Or why are nurses dissatisfied with their jobs? I can put this in Google. Issues that nurses face in their career. I put up a survey the other day, right? And I told them, I was like, what do you think is the best way to find prospects? Is it advertising? Is it social media? Is it networking events? And most people got it. Most people put a couple answers, but everybody included the first one, which is search for problems. All you're doing is looking for problems. All you're doing is looking for problems, millionaires. So if I go on Google and I put in issues nurses face in their careers, or why do nurses quit their jobs? Mind reading equals influence. Right. And then if it comes up underpayments, a poor management, right? Short staffing. I mean, maybe you don't often go from nurse to president of a hospital. Maybe upward advancement is kind of difficult. Maybe it's really bad shift hours. People get sick 24 hours a day, right? What if I'm looking all of that up and then I'm talking from that perspective when it's time to close? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I don't know who this is supposed to help. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but somebody hears me. I mean, don't get me started on how understanding their personality type can help you bring in that lead in the first place. If we're really going to get into that first part of the revenue acceleration cycle and making sure we got powerful leads, I mean, if I'm looking to recruit a spring and I know they're all about feelings, maybe the post I put up, because what a lot of us put up, we put up these posts to say, I'm looking for, 10 inspired entrepreneur, or I'm looking for, it's like, come on, son. What if I just put up, I hate my job. My boss is disgusting. Anybody else feel like that? Question mark. I hate my job. My boss is disgusting. Anybody else feel like that? Now, what we got in the comments is a bunch of people who, now, even if they like it, some people gonna like. Now that's the kind of thing I can put on Twitter. That's the kind of thing I can put on Instagram with the right post. That's the kind of thing I can put on Facebook. But what I'm saying is, anybody that likes that, hey, I see you liked it. What's your story? How easy is that? Is that simple? Mind reading equals influence. So that's secret number 7. I wanted to make sure I gave you a little bit of that millionaire minded piece. You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to just give you the little steps, but it's never the how to, it's the how you do, right? We can both have a script, baby. But if I'm saying the same script as this wino, you know what I mean? As this homeless cat over here, you know what I mean? One of us, it's not really what you do, it's how you do it, it's who you are. You get what I mean? That's why I'm always trying to give you more philosophy, so you feel more powerful and you feel more aware of who you are and whose you are. You have the ability to change everything, because in this world, you learn more, you earn more. That's how it goes. All right, y'all. I hope that was helpful. We about to get to it. Understand these personality types, y'all. Don't play no games with it. Understand the difference between the different personality types. You have. I was talking about spring and how much they care. When you're talking about winters, it's about how much they want to win, how much they want to be special. They want to be recognized, right? When you're talking about a summer personality, it's how much fun they want to have. I told a story the other day about how when I was just now out of town, it was just a crazy sequence of events. And next thing you know, I lost my phone or whatever. And it was just really, really wild how when I went in there to the phone store, the dude is just talking constantly, et cetera, so forth. Really fun-loving guy, never met a stranger, just having a ball, just real jovial and whatnot. Kind of going everywhere with his stories and stuff like that. So clearly a summer personality. I mean, it was just coming off his pores, right? And so why did he happen to mention something about credit score or something like that? So obviously I start going in about, oh man, you might want to work with us. We have so much fun. All we do is kick it and travel. We just now got back. Everybody came to Atlanta for this event. And then we just now did this thing, right? I'm just telling them about how we about to be in New York Labor Day. All we do is travel and have fun and just kick it. You get to meet all these people, and then you get to make money so you can have even more fun. I mean, he's just like, It was amazing. It was amazing. Next thing you know, he gave me like, a free phone case. He's like, oh man, throw this on there. He's giving me my number. His homeboy come over like, man, what is this y'all talking about? Can I was like, oh, well, you probably gonna have to talk to him, but hey, take my number, But it's all because finally you're talking in their language. So if you're talking about closing, you have to get real clear on who you're talking to. Everybody who's in this thing of ours, you have a whole section in that 90-day blitz section. And if you're not, then and you haven't joined the Kaizen Academy, et cetera, so forth, we, just inbox me. We'll figure out a way to help you, right? But you need to be dealing with this information, y'all, or you're shrinking your ability to win. Start putting up posts that are talking to people's problems. Stop trying to convince and start looking at yourself as a sorter. That's going to make it much easier at the end to close, because mind reading equals influence. All right. Here's the affirmation line. It's time to get busy. Hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning, right? We ready? We get something out of this? Let me see it in the comments if this was helpful. Let me know if this was helpful. The whole idea, man, is that I don't want this to just be more information. If you're going to try this out, let me see it in the comments. Here's the phone number so you can start calling in on the live line as well. But if you're going to use this, then let me see it in the comments. If you're going to use this, let me see it in the comments. Like, take it serious, millionaires. I want you to try this out. You know, in the 90-day blitz section, you know, if you're participating in the 90-day challenge, you know, there's even a personality quiz that I gave you so that you can ask them these couple questions and find out. Some of you just got to get into the habit of talking to new people. Some of you just got to get into the habit of talking to new people. That's right. Sometimes I think of it like socializer. Sometimes I think of it like empathizer, socializer, organizer, and analyzer. You know, that's how I think of it sometimes when I go in that order: spring, summer, winter, fall. I think of that like empathizer, socializer, organizer, and analyzer. You know. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So all right, we getting started with this affirmation line. Let's get it. Listen, let's get rich, y'all. Like we can't be out here playing around. Like, you have a business. You have no excuse to have money problems when you have a business. You get what I mean? Like, you have a business. Let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. All right. Repeat after me, millionaires. It's affirmation time. I am